All right, so eyes and ears up here. Even if you're not finished, we'll get straight into this skill. So what we're doing is we're looking at expressing terms like square roots and cube roots as powers, okay? So if you follow the rule along, if we have a to the half, that means the square root of a, all right? So if we had the square root of 5, another way we could write that is 5 to the power of a half. That's what it means. And the exercise is called rational indices, right? So indices mean the power, and the power is expressed as a ratio. It's rational. So that's what's going on there. You can see if we have a to the power of a third, that means the cubed root. In fact, you can have any number of roots, right? You can have the 17th root. So a to the 1 on 17 would be the 17th root of a. And then that last one, a to the power of m on n, is the way we can write it as a square root. So let's get straight into these. We're expressing them as a single power of 5. So if we have the cubed root of 5, that is 5 to the power of 1 on top of 3. All right. On to b. What we have is 1 on top of the square root of 5, and the square root of 5 is 5 to the power of a half. And then what we'll do is we'll take that to the top of a fraction, right? So we'll make it 5 to the power of minus half. Okay, we'll take it to the top by making the power negative. So you can see, how are we answering these questions? We're expressing them as a single power of 5. All right, here we have the square root of 5 to the power of 3. Well, the square root of 5, that means 5 to the power of a half. Right, so all I've done is rewrite it as 5 to the power of a half. And then we're using the index law where if we have a power to a power, we multiply those together, right? So what we have is 5 to the power of a half times 3. And when we're multiplying a fraction by an integer, it just goes to the top, right? So it's 5 to the power of 3 on 2. Now, I'm going to make a connection here, but I don't want to confuse anyone. So if you get a bit, if you're not sure what's going on, don't worry about it, but I do think it's useful to point out. Okay. I've said before, order of multiplication doesn't matter, right? Order of multiplication doesn't matter. Half times 3 is the same as 3 times half, right? So one way this could be expressed as well is if I follow this chain here, it's 5 to the 3 and the square root of that. All right, now look at the last rule that I have down the bottom. A to the m on n. 5 to the 3 on 2 is equal to the square root of 5 to the 3. Okay, so maybe we can see a relationship there. Here is m goes there. Here is n. 2 just means it's the square root. We don't need to put the 2 there. 2 just means it's square root rather than cubed root. All right. So hopefully we can see that. If not, don't worry, don't be alarmed. Okay, let's move on to D. Expressing it as a single power of 5. At the top of the fraction, we have 5 squared. At the bottom, we have 5 to the half. Okay. Now, if I'm going to express it as a single power of 5, I'm going to do the top power, take away the bottom power, right? We have 5 to the power of 2 take a half. Now, one thing I was saying to my class last semester is these kind of fraction skills, you need to be good at these, all right? You need to make sure you understand how to perform simple fraction operations like that. If you're not sure, let me know. I can organise plenty of resources and go over that skill with you. So I will talk about it over here. We're doing 2 take away a half. And in your mind, hopefully you go 2 take half, that's 1 1/2. Easy, right? But what's going on? What's the skill? Well, before we can subtract it, we need to express that with a denominator of 2. So 2 is 4 divided by 2, right? Another way we could write 2 is 4 divided by 2. So now that they have the same denominator, okay, so these terms here have the same number at the bottom, it's the top power take the top number, take the top number. 4 take 1 is 3 on 2. 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Alright, so skills we learned sort of year 7, year 8. So that's 5 to the power of 3 on 2. Alright, so we've simplified all of them as single powers of 5. So let's have a go at that exercise 12E. I would like to move on, but I don't want to rush it either. So let's see how we go with that one. I've got written down for 12E that we do questions 1, 2, 3, and 4.